Ojo Aba Meta Meta, third Saturday in October, 29th in Seawall, Galveston, Texas. Galveston, formerly known as Turtle Island, was a marketplace block for selling human cargo during the transatlantic slave trade. That cargo was many of our ancestors who never chose to be enslaved. We must not let this truth of history be revised, and there were others of our ancestors who were already here, drying their eyes from trails of tears. Fourth Saturday in autumn equinox, Libra season, third decan, harvest season. The season where Onile, or the spirit of Mother Earth, thins the veil between Orun, heaven, and earth. Aye. The collective voice of our ancestors amplify their presence, hence All Hallows Eve, Halloween, Dia de los Muertos, and Sankofa, the caravan to the ancestors. These celebrations all fall like leaves off a tree during this season. Sankofa. It means to go back. It means to go back to give thanks and praises to the Creator, regardless of the name in which we call him or her. To remember our ancestors, the ones we know not by name, and their ultimate sacrifice. We go back to remember our recent ancestors and the wisdom their lives left behind. We go back to reflect on where we've been, to be clearer on where we are headed. And this is my personal diary of the last decade of experiences while attending the Sankofa Caravan to the Ancestors, hosted by the Houston chapter of the National Black United Front, and how these experiences changed my life. I'm my Aunt J. Muse, and you are watching and listening to Sankofa Mewa, the Diary of 10 Caravans. Ashe. Sankofa 2016. Who this woman? Pataki. Oni me ojo abameta. Owara medewun. Odon egba wa mere de logon. Mere de logon ojo egba oru. Diary. Today is Saturday, October 15, 2016, 16 days into autumn equinox. The day vibrated on a 7, a day of completing old cycles. The moon was full in the first house of Aries, and it was a 9 year, a year of intense shedding and radical changes. Life had spun me a cocoon on Truxillo Street. Not quite a home, but a studio. And studios are for work, and I was the project. The art was the work on self, and all else centered around it. I was in the center of much-needed demolitions to make way for new structures. And this year was really deep for me, and I couldn't wait to get to the water. This year for Sankofa, I joined Queen Ohima Zaid for the trip to Galveston. She came for me right at dawn, helped me loosen up some. I didn't realize how guarded these changes made me, and it sure felt good to let my hair down. As always, my energy instantly relaxed at the sight of the water. Now don't get me wrong, the beach in itself is relaxing on any trip one would take to see Yemaja. That's what she does. When you add that to a collective ancestral presence, it takes the energy to another level. The more I allowed myself to open my spirit to the blessings of this ceremony, the more I got out of it. And this year, I not only received much, but I was blessed to give. And this year's theme was seeking peace for our souls and hearts. And Lord, did I need it. Remember in the last diary entry when I said that the caravan was for connecting, or should I say, reuniting with new spiritual family? Well, here It happened again. See, what had happened was, earlier this year, I met an interesting man, but not in a romantic sense. He more so reminded me of an uncle or a distant relative, as he was double timing through the shrine of the Black Madonna. We met in Oya's domain, the marketplace. And since then, I'd been seeing him everywhere. I knew better than to call it coincidence, yet he was too familiar to call it eerie. He was an Ifa priest, crowned by Ogun, who would one day be my godfather. And he was the first person I greeted at the water, sitting next to my future god brother. You get my drift? We were in the thick of dancing in Joko. Joko means the ancestors speak, in the drum circle. When singing to the Orisha Oya, a certain woman caught my eye. She was cloaked and covered from head to toe, and I knew immediately I had a message for her, because when I saw her, everyone else disappeared. They were a blur of spinning white, as if they became a physical embodiment of Oya's whirlwind. She saw me too, but she danced in the other direction, running away from me. But it was to no avail. Oya was already on her path. We danced around each other for a few more drum beats until Oya planted our feet face to face. We embraced, and I allowed my spirit to speak to hers in words I could not recall. She received greatly, and a sisterhood was born. That sister is Nana Sula's spirit.
But when I met you, well, let me just say, when I was leaving New Orleans, it just so happened to be a full moon that year.
Mm-hmm.
And this gigantic full moon literally was in front of us the entire time we were driving. It was so bright, it almost felt like a spaceship. It was enormous. I don't know if it was harvest moon, I don't know which one it was, but that moon, Mother Moon, Anaburuku, led me to the caravan. And I was determined. We left at 3 in the morning. I was determined to get there. And thank God my sister drove with me, and so I wasn't sleepy on the road by myself, but there was a force pulling me there that was greater than myself. And then when I got there, I didn't see you right away, but it was this time towards the end when the circle, there was like a circle forming and people were going around and blessed. There was a beautiful priestess going around blessing the circle. And then the circle started moving as Oya, right?
I remember.
Remember, it just started moving. And when it started moving, we all started moving.
Oh, yeah.
You see?
Oh, yeah.
And the circle felt like it was getting faster and faster and faster.
It was.
But I think it wasn't the circle. It was
Oya. It was Oya. Because Oya turns circles into whirlwinds.
It was that, for sure. Because next thing I know, I felt you were coming to give me a message. And it wasn't one, I felt like whatever you were coming to tell me, I was kind of cloaked up even that year because I was wounded and I was covering something.
You were.
I was. Remember, I was all cloaked up like I was in a mosque or something. Mama Oya, through you, told me exactly what I was healing from, and told me exactly my faithful to your Ori Iyan Sache, because
the whirlwind, I hadn't yet been crowned yet.
She was with you, baby, because that message you gave me was my faithful to you, because and Oya and the mothers around us, because what you told me freed me of 1,000 years of guilt and shame and whatever blame, whatever I was carrying, whatever it was, and it gave me the ability to be okay.
I glanced over at the tent where the elders were sitting, and for some reason, a couple of the elder priestesses were smiling and even laughing at what they saw. The energy felt positive, yet deeper than just a laugh. Perhaps another clue? Oya is a shapeshifter indeed, because in the next moment, She shifted my energy from an ancient vessel to a curious child. This happened when I caught the gaze of an elderly woman. We were similar height. Okay, she was a few inches taller, I'm short. A similar complexion and long, long locks flowing down under her white hat. She embraced me, and her energy in the moment was very healing. The next thing I knew, I was involuntarily following her all over the beach for hug after hug. It was like she was Mama Goose and I was Baby Duck. And little did I know I was chasing an Ianifa, crowned by Yemanja, who would one day be my Yeye, but time had yet to reveal this. I saw Nana Sula's spirit at the luncheon after the caravan, and she blessed me with the most amazing gift. It was a double CD set titled The Spirit of Orisha by the Zion Trinity. It was her music. How does she know I love music? Well, Spirit always knows. I did a lot of meditation with this CD, often, for the following year. For me, it resonated better than the singing bowls and the ohms and all the other things I was doing to get into a meditative space. It was the spiritual music of my native and ancient essence. It was as if Oya was preparing me to receive her crown the following year, and she sent this preparation through her other daughter. So you see, I had a message for her, and she had a tool of preparation for me. Talk about spiritual exchanges. Side note, the Spirit of the Orisha music is featured every day from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time on 222.9 The Mothership Internet Radio on the Sunrise Show called The Rising Bimbe. And it all happened here at the Caravan to the Ancestors, hosted by Embuff. Ashe.